I accepted the nomination because I had been involved last year, Felicia Alcaraz, Woman of the Year 2012, and I saw what it stood for and I saw what it was about, how it serves not only the patients but their family and everything that's involved. Really, when I got involved last year, I met a lot of survivors. I've met families of those who lost loved ones, and I thought, what an amazing cause.
Most of my work centers around patients who have lymphomas of the skin, and I've been dealing with that for the last 4 years in my work. And I've seen, unfortunately, a lot of people suffer when there aren't enough drugs on the market to deal with their particular type of lymphoma. Seeing their struggle has made me want to help them in ways other than just medically.
What started us getting engaged with LLS was when Megan Flynn, she had leukemia, and then unfortunately she passed away. Many of us got to know the illness more. We saw Megan struggle, we saw her family struggle, and got us more involved in the LLS and in helping to find ways so that one day people don't have to go through that.
I coach with kids, so I have a soft spot for kids in my heart. And there's been kids that come up, been diagnosed with leukemia since the times that I've been coaching, and they're no longer able to play, and I see them go through the treatment, and some do well, some others don't. So I thought it was a great opportunity, a great honor to be able to raise money for this, for LLS.
I've heard people in the past that I've come across say, oh, I'm doing something with LLS, and I just had never explored it. And when I met Jason Brennan and he shared with me a story that touched him, it started to open up the floodgates with conversations with other people, like, hey, had you heard anything about LLS, or have you been touched by it? And come to find out, there are quite a number of people in my circle of friends that have either been touched by it or have lost a loved one. So I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do.
I accepted the nomination because my friend Keith McDermott and coworker lost his sister a few years back when we were in class together, and basically he told me a story about how his sister was always there for him. She was gone just a couple months later, and just hearing how his sister wouldn't be there for him or anything like that really hit home, because I have an older sister that's always been there for me, and just that thought of her not being in my life, I've somehow related to Keith, and I told him I don't have a lot of money, but I'll give you whatever I can to help you. And when he ran, I helped him out with giving him art to sell and donating and everything. So when he asked me to be a candidate and everything, it wasn't even a second chance. I was like, of course.
I'm truly doing this for my wife, Karen. She was diagnosed with multiple myeloma 1 month after our honeymoon. We had a different plan for our journey in life, and this has been kind of where we're at today, going on 4 years. She's alive and well, as well as somebody with multiple myeloma can be. She has it, but I also am going through it with her. And I think a lot of people don't realize when you're diagnosed with an illness that it's not just that person going through it. Their significant others, spouses, are also going through it. So
I decided to run for Woman of the Year because Dave had gone through a really tough time with multiple myeloma. He had been diagnosed in December of 2011, and they didn't actually think he was going to make it. So when he went in remission, we realized what benefit he had gotten from the chemo that essentially saved his life. And when I understood that Leukemia Lymphoma Society was a big portion of supporting that particular medication as well as others, there was no question.
I fully support her because it's not just me going through going through the cancer. It's not just me dealing with losing the pounds and losing the height and losing whatever it is and getting cooked by the radiation and all that stuff. But Victoria kind of got dragged along too, involuntarily. And And so when my life turned upside down, hers turned upside down as well. And if we can make someone else's journey, if we can eliminate it, great. And if we can't, but if we can make it a little bit easier, good.
I accepted the candidate nomination in honor of my grandmother, who lost her battle in 2006 of multiple myeloma. She suffered a short time. She raised me from a young age and taught me everything I know about giving back, and I'm doing it in her honor.
Well, I'd been involved with Leukemia Lymphoma Society for 10 years, and I've done Light the Night, and for about the last 4 or 5 years they asked me to run for Man of the Year, and my heart wasn't really into it, mainly because I'm a simple guy. I raise money for Light the Night, and to be Man of the Year seemed like such a big thing to do. So I finally decided that it was time to step my fundraising up and take it to the next level. And I'm running for Man of the Year in memory of my mom.
So when I learned about Man and the Woman of the Year, when I was invited to the first grand finale in LA after Mike passed, I was so moved by the candidates and their passion and their love and what they were able to accomplish in memory of people they had lost or in memory of people who were still fighting for it. And I thought, this is such a special, special campaign. I want to do this more than anything I've ever done. I want to be able to give him a little bit of something that he gave so much to me, and that's his love and this pride that I have in the man that he was. And what a better way to pay tribute to him than to have a research grant in his name.
LLS is something that's so important to me. Like, I consider them to have really saved my life, along with the doctors that helped me and the nurses and all the hospital staff and friends and family. But they're the ones that help fund the cure, and I don't know if the cure for my blood cancer would be around without the funding from LLS. So I think I owe it to them to raise as much money as possible for this.
I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma when I was 23, and it was something that caught all of us off guard. And I was in college still. My husband, Danny, he was just my boyfriend then, but we were just kind of living our lives, and all of a sudden we got hit with this, and he did an amazing job getting me through it. My family did an amazing job. Now we're married. We have 2 great children, which is a blessing. And so now it's just time for us to do what we can for others, because we had a lot of support and amazing doctors. And so now we have to help do what we can.